Tell us about the time you played a burned down church with Deftones in Europe.
Wow, cool. That was one of the first times we actually went to Europe, or second time I believe. We did 5 shows with Deftones, and the last show was in Estonia, and we played at this church that had been burnt down by the Nazis, I believe, and the only thing that was remaining of the church was the 4 walls. Well, like some of the outside of the area as well, but the main structure of the church. So what the city or the country did was turn it into a venue. Like they just emptied it out. There's no ceiling, so it's just massive 4 walls, and they just built a stage.
That's crazy.
It was one of the most epic. Like one, it was opening up for Deftones, and then it was like at this awesome open church in Estonia. So it was probably like a highlight of my career, I would say.
So how many people came to that show?
Man, it was probably around 2,000, maybe a little bit more. It was a lot, Deftones, like I don't think they'll ever play less than for a crowd of less than 2,000, unless it's like at the Troubadour when they did that like last year or 2 years ago.
And you've done a lot of interesting stuff since the last time we talked. You were on Thrice's farewell tour.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I know at the Observatory they came out while you guys were playing Them and No Brother in masks.
Right. Yeah, it was like because it was the last day of tour prank that everybody does on each other. Yeah, that was a cool tour, man. That was a really cool tour. They're huge, still.
I heard they might be doing some stuff in the future.
I hope so, man. They when I toured with them, I knew of Thrice. I mean, and I'd heard their music, and I was never like crazy into it. I was appreciated, but after touring with them, just seeing how phenomenal they are, it really kind of just opened my eyes. And now when I hear their music, it's kind of like one of those like, oh yeah, it's stoked to hear.
And that was a crazy tour for you because of the Boston case too.
Yeah, that sucked. And then we got robbed burglarized at the end of the tour.
Oh,
that sucked even worse.
What was your reaction though to the petition to exonerate you that gained 25,000 signatures? Yeah,
it was pretty nuts. Some fan just made it. It was pretty awesome that many people were paying attention, and I remember Boston Police Department had to like shut down their Facebook page because they were getting hated on so much. It was awesome, luckily the charges were dropped, several $1,000s later and like a year and a half later. But yeah, I'm good to travel anywhere now.
Good. I know you had a problem getting in Canada.
Yeah, a couple times. That sucked.
So you got burglarized when you got back home.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, did you ever just felt like you wanted to just give up on this and not do this anymore?
Not because of the burglary. I mean, we had a lot of stuff that had been stolen, some of it was stuff that we've had for a long time, and, some other stuff has been stuff that was gear that we gained through endorsements, and so we didn't necessarily pay for it, but at the same time, it's a level of, like, I earned that, and I had, it was mine, give it back. But, no, I mean, like, we had just finished a Thrice tour. Previous to that, we were on tour with Meshuggah in Europe. Aside from getting robbed and being arrested, life was pretty good, So, yeah, there was never like a screw this, It was just like, fuck the guy who stole my shit. But
yeah. No missing the days of working in your family's restaurant.
Not at all. Not at all. I hate that shit.
And you actually quit working at the restaurant to produce hip hop.
I did. I was working at the restaurant, quit, and was teaching guitar and producing hip hop in DC. I had my alias was Dirty Sanchez.
Oh, all right, that works.
That was my producer name.
How long did you do hip hop for?
About 2 years, and then I was doing it, and then Animals started touring, and I did it for maybe like first 2 tours in between, but it started getting to the point where it was like I knew that I was gonna have to quit my job. We were moving out here, so I just stopped. I dabble here and there, but I feel like I'm out of touch with it. I've been so focused on an 8-string guitar that the Dirty Sanchez is gone.
Well, from the time of Dirty Sanchez, from the time of Dirty Sanchez to now? How would you say you've evolved as a musician?
I mean, I wasn't planning on being some guitar dude. Now I feel like people think I'm some guitar dude and get free guitars and all sorts of shit. So there's a level of focus and like, okay, here's your dream come true. Go with it further, Yeah, I mean, there's a level of like, okay, cool. Now we have achieved a certain, status. Just work with it and go with it and grind it out. I still listen to hip hop. I still love it. I like twerk, the whole twerk movement. Fan of it.
Cool.
I love trap music.
Well, let's transition over to talk about the new Animals as Leaders album.
Okay.
The Joy of Motion. What did you want to accomplish with this record, personally and as a band?
Well, we wanted to, one, kind of write in music that was representative of where we are now as musicians, that represented also having Matt in the band, me more involved with the writing, and then at the same time including some of the other people that worked with it, including Naveen, Diego Farias of Volumes, Misha Mansoor from Periphery, and Adam Getgood from Periphery as well. We went back to work with Misha to kind of capture that sound from the first album, a little bit of the energy. And one, he's an amazing composer and an arranger.
Mm-hmm.
He just has an incredible ear for it, as well as Diego. So we wanted to work with these producers that to bring something else as well to the table. We focus a lot on guitar, and sometimes it's we need that extra help when it comes to actually arranging the parts. And we wanted to have a different sound that we haven't had in the past. So we had Adam produce the album. So we had real drums. We tracked all the guitars. He was actually very meticulous with every take, and at the end of the mix, I think he did awesome. Naveen, our old drummer, was involved with all the electronics again. He left the band to pursue his electronic career. In the meantime, he's gotten really good at producing his sounds. So we were like, all right, man, you know the sound of Animals. You were a member. Help us out with this, with this music. And he was super stoked.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was reading an interesting interview that you did where you talked about your previous guitar teachers and how they're masters of their craft. Do you consider yourself a master of your craft?
Not yet. I feel like maybe one day. I feel like I'm proficient. I'm unique, but there's definitely room for improvement. I still find guitarists on a daily basis that I'm like, damn, I wish I can do that. So, but my teachers, I'm telling them, I call them masters, but I think they would feel the same way, where they're just constantly evolving. They'll look at stuff that I've written, and it's like, okay, well, that's cool. So I don't know. I don't think I'll ever give myself that title. What do you think?
I would say you are, sure.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I think a lot of people would agree as well, given the new Animals as Leaders album.
That's cool.
So.
That's cool. Yeah.
Let's talk about your side projects, T.R.A.M and Mestis.
All right.
Is there new material in the works?
Not for T.R.A.M. I don't know if we'll get to that. There's so much going on with Animals, and I kind of want to focus on some Mestis as well. I'd like to do a full length. People, especially on this tour, people have been asking for a full length. They're like, "All right, dude, we want more music. We want more music. It's not enough. 15 minutes is just not enough." So, and I'm always trying to write, and some stuff is super Latin, some stuff isn't so Latin, and I have that stuff, and I feel like, okay, well, I have the platform to be able to put it out and have people hear it. Why not do it? I'll always still do Animals, but I think this is cool to just do on the side. I can't stop writing it, so it needs to just be heard at some point, and maybe even tour. So
cool. So now all these kids, all the attention that this band has received, Animals as Leaders, how does it affect your creativity?
There's always, you know, a little bit of pressure as far as like, oh man, now people think that, you know, we're the craziest writers and we have to write the next craziest thing. I think that is always lingering, but at the same time, you know, when the first album was written, Tosin wrote it for the sake of writing music. You know, it wasn't for the sake of writing for a fan base. We've gained fans, but I think, you know, what we've done is convince people that we have a good taste in music, or that we have, you know, a good ear for music, and they like it, and they should listen to it. It's not so much like, all right, what do you guys think we should write? And I think whenever that does happen, you know, people tend to either sell out or sound like they sell out or lose, you know, their identity. I think bands that kind of just stick to writing what they feel is good and for themselves, you know, tend to last longer. Or at least it's just working for us.
Yeah.
So
what do you tell kids that look up to you? What kind of advice do you give them to get to the level that you're at?
Practice hard. You know, play what you can't play. If you can't play it, just keep doing it. You know, be patient. You know, Tosin, Matt, and myself, man, collectively we've been playing probably like, you know, 50 to 60 years. I'm 33. I started playing when I was 6 years old. I practiced a lot, you know. I was a little chubby kid who didn't hang out all the time, so I was just practicing constantly. Matt was practicing in the womb. His dad used to play music to his mom's stomach. Tosin's been playing since he was like 12 or 13 or something like that. So, I mean, just play a lot, you know. When if you can't figure it out, figure out how to figure it out, you know. Go online, YouTube tutorials for days. I mean, I wish we had that when I was a kid. Like, it was literally like you have to go buy the expensive DVD or the expensive VHS tape or Guitar World magazines, and, you know, trying to somehow just learn these songs by ear. And, you know, now we have like tabs and instructional videos for days. So, I mean, use all those resources.